Today's video is a Market Owl dashboard tutorial. The focus is specialty lists. A specialty list is a watch list, whatever is of interest to you. In this case, it's a growth watch list. You have two sections, a leading and a lagging. At the top of the section, you have a benchmark, IWM. This benchmark can be changed. This is the percent change for the day, the percent change from the open. Of all the stocks that are on this specialty list, 44 are showing relative strength and 56 are showing relative weakness from the open. These are changes from the open. It also shows advancing and declining stocks from the open, as well as those showing above or below average volume. You can see that 20 stocks had above average volume while 80 had below average volume. Both sections are structured and formatted exactly the same. Here we have the bid price, the ticker, the percent change from the open, which will be different from percent change for the day. You can have a stock that gaps up 10 or 20%, but after the open, it can either continue advance or it can fall. Knowing how much it's moved from the open is something that's very valuable for day and swing traders, as well as for position traders that are trying to trade breakouts. Range, where price is from the high to the low range. So if it's 85%, it's near the high of the range. If it's 10 or 15%, it's near the low of the range. It will also highlight above and below average volume. Below average volume is in red, above average volume is in bold black font. Then there's the up-down volume ratio and an adjustable EMA. Anytime you see blue font, you can usually change it. Same with orange. I punched in 10, which means the 10 EMA, and I can quickly see how far above or below the 10 EMA price is for the corresponding ticker. Below, we have the lagging stocks. The only difference is we have the ask price. We still have the ticker, the percent change from open, where price is in the range, whether it's on above or below average volume, what the up-down ratio is, and an adjustable moving average. Punch it in, it takes just a moment, and it will change. And speaking of changes, where can you make adjustments to this specialty watch list? If you look to the right of the main Market Owl dashboard tab, you'll see Specialty tab. You notice they're color-coded. This section has a beige theme, and the Specialty tab at the bottom of the workbook is also beige. Just click on it. Anywhere you see the orange font, you can make changes. If you didn't want this to be a growth stock watch list, you wanted it to be maybe a value list, you just type it in. You can also change your benchmark. It's important to try and pick a benchmark that most closely correlates to the type of stocks that are on your list. At the top of this page, you can see the relative strength versus the relative weakness compared to the benchmark you've selected at the open for all the tickers that are on this watch list. You can also see the relative strength and relative weakness changes from the open. You can see the number of stocks that had advanced and declined at the open versus the changes of the advancing and declining stocks from the open. The information below the benchmark ticker corresponds to the benchmark. The percent change at the open, changes from the open, and the total percent change for the day. It also displays while the benchmark, in this case IWM, is moving above or below on average volume. Any cells that have this color of yellow fill in them indicate that they are areas where you can change the information. So you can change the tickers. If you're ever confused and want more information, click on the red asterisk. I have a pop-up note that explains to you what's going on each individual page. This says you need to enter your data provider, that's the orange font, enter your benchmark, again orange font, enter the tickers you want to track, the highlighted yellow cells, and the rest of the page will automate. It's that simple. You can enter your tickers by hand, or you can copy and paste them from another Excel workbook. There are a couple of important considerations when copying and pasting data onto a list in the dashboard. The first thing is highlight the cells you want to copy. Right-click and select Format Cells. Go to the Protection tab. You can see that these are locked. You need to make sure that they're unlocked before you copy and paste them into the Market Owl dashboard. The reason being that you potentially lock yourself out of being able to change the tickers in the future once you exit the workbook and save it. Certain cells are locked, in fact the majority of cells are locked in the Market Owl to protect the data from becoming jumbled or corrupted. So that's one consideration. Another example is perhaps you find a list online that you want to copy and paste. So you highlight it, you copy it, and then you try to paste it. Some may have links. One thing you can do is you copy it again, you right click on the cell, and you paste it strictly as a value. Now that on the surface is a good start. But one thing that can occur is sometimes when you do that, you will find that it includes spaces in front of the ticker, and that can cause problems in the workbook. So you have to make sure that there are no spaces. Excel does offer some formulas. You can search online on YouTube on how to remove blank spaces, but sometimes it doesn't work. If you want to change your benchmark or any of the tickers, you must do it on the Specialty tab page. Where else can you find specialty watch list information? You can find it on the Market Owl Watch #1 tab. This tab basically consists of your portfolio, your watch list, and then any specialty watch lists. There are a total of 3 specialty watch lists. I won't do a separate video for each one since they're all structured the same. But here's visual data on the Owl Watch List #1 tab. You've got your specialty watch list. It tells you what it is, its growth. It highlights the benchmark, IWM. Then it gives you the benchmark information, the percent change from the open versus the percent change at the open. It also displays how many tickers are moving on above or below average volume. And then we have a more detailed analysis of relative strength and relative weakness, as well as stocks that are advancing and declining. The first bar graph shows the number of stocks that had relative strength at the open, and then the changes in relative strength from the open, and the same for the relative weakness. So at the open there were 60 stocks that had relative strength, and now there's only 44. That tells you that relative strength in this basket has been declining since the open. They're underperforming your benchmark, which is IWM. It's the same visual representation of the data for advancing and declining stocks. We have at the open and changes from the open. At the open there were 82 stocks in the specialty growth basket that advanced, and now there's only 34. We look at the declining stocks. At the open there were 15 and now there's 66. So you can clearly see there's weakness. So these bars compare the open to changes from the open. Then we have the pie chart graphic here. And this is simply relative strength at the open versus the relative weakness. And then this is from the open, relative strength and weakness. These are absolutes. The bars are comparisons, and the little pie graphics are absolutes. So this is comparing the open versus changes from the open, where this is just the open compared to the open. And this below is simply changes from the open. From the open, how many stocks had relative strength, and from the open, how many stocks had relative weakness. Simply put, this is just 2 ways to compare and contrast data that has to do with relative strength and weakness and advancing and declining stocks. Back on the Market Owl page, this shows the 5 leading stocks and the 5 lagging stocks. This shows the same leading and lagging stocks that are on the primary Market Owl dashboard, right here, leading and lagging, except it shows it in a visual way. So you can see that TIGR on this specialty growth watch list has advanced 11.2%. These are the top 5 tickers in this basket. And then it shows the lagging 5. So you can quickly see that today FLGT was the worst performing stock in this basket, while TIGR was the best performing stock. This format is identical to the remaining 2 specialty watch lists. In this case, I have a watch list for China and a global ETF watch list, and it highlights the exact same data. The remaining 2 specialty watch lists are at the end of this workbook. You can use arrows that are to the left to scroll through your tabs that are at the bottom of the page. And you see the last two. They function exactly the same as the first one I highlighted. So there are the three places that you can find information about your specialty watch list. You have the specialty tabs at the bottom of the workbook. You have 1, 2, and 3. Then you have the information that's extracted from those pages and put on the main Market Owl dashboard. Then you also have additional visual information on those portfolio, watch list, and specialty watch lists, all on the Owl Watch number 1 tab. I hope you find this information helpful. Thanks for watching and good fills, everyone. If you found my free educational materials helpful, I encourage you to make a donation to the Children's Therapy Center, an outstanding nonprofit organization that helps children with special needs. You can also give without actually giving by using Amazon Smile. Amazon Smile is run by Amazon.com, and a portion of your purchases will go to the charity of your choice. Simply select Children's Therapy Center, located in Kent, Washington. You can find more about the Children's Therapy Center on my website on the Principals page. You can also find links to CTC on my YouTube channel in the About section, as well as under every video that I produce. Also consider donating if you've had a great year in trading. Be generous, contribute, give back. Lend a hand to those in need. You can find more free educational material on my website. Under the Education tab, you'll find helpful podcasts, YouTubes, chat room information, book suggestions, webinars, presentations, and helpful resource links. There's information on lessons learned and psychology, trades made, a dedicated section to trading growth stocks, market information, helpful tools and discounts on trading services, information on XLQ, an Excel plugin that retrieves real-time and historical financial data, market and stock analysis. And there's an assortment of videos on my YouTube channel. All this information is for educational purposes only, and the goal is to help you build a solid foundation that you can expand upon. Our chat room is popular and a favorite for many growth stock traders. Take the time to build a solid foundation of understanding before you begin trading. Take the time to clearly define your setups, your entry triggers, your sell rules, and most importantly, have a thorough plan for risk management. The first step in that journey is learning. There are no shortcuts to successful trading, so take the time to research and to educate yourself thoroughly.